So we're at King's Dominion today for a video that's probably going to be a little all over the place. There are some things that we realize that some people probably walk by every day and don't pay any attention to. So we're basically going to go around, take a look at some of the things that we've noticed that might be easy to miss, and also maybe throw in a couple of other random things that we find interesting as we go around the park. That's why I was saying it's going to be all over the place. So let's get started with the craziness. We're going to start by taking a look around Jungle X-Pedition because there's probably the most to see here of anywhere in the park. There is an entire story that links Jungle X-Pedition together. I was able to find a very interesting article that I will link to in the description of this video for you to check out if you're interested in knowing the entire story. This one website goes into a lot of detail and it's very interesting. There is a giant map undercover here in Jungle X-Pedition that shows you where all of the attractions, restrooms, food places are. It's not really hidden, but it is just kind of cool, so I thought I'd mention it. Though next to it, there is something that a lot of people probably walk right by and don't think about much. It's this board that will help you decode hidden messages that are around the area. It's a fun little game you can play if you know where to look. Right now, there are only 3 hidden messages and they're all clustered in one area. I'm hoping they will add more of these messages as they expand the area. But more on that in a little bit. King's Dominion has added a series of signs to their construction walls. There are 5 in total. This one is the most interesting that they've added. Even though King's Dominion has not officially announced that they're having a new coaster for 2025, it's a pretty widely known rumor here. And a lot of people are assuming that it is a launched wing coaster. The word propelling leads me to believe that they're telling us that it's going to be a launched wing coaster. So looking forward to the official announcement on that one. I should also mention Coaster Trek has been spotted on site at King's Dominion, so it's definitely going to be a coaster that's going in this spot, 100%. They just need to announce what type of coaster it's going to be. This marking on the ground is a huge focal point of the area, so it's definitely far from hidden, but there's a few hidden details on it that are kind of interesting. Starting here, we have the monkey, which represents Toonbeely. Continuing to spin around the circle counterclockwise, we have the alligator or crocodile representing Reptilia. Continuing around, we have the spider representing Arachnidia. But then beyond that, those are the 3 rides that are currently in the area, so this is when things get interesting. The next one is a snake, which right next to this area is the Anaconda coaster, so this is pretty much implying that they are eventually going to make Anaconda part of this area, which is fine because the theming fits really well with the area. But after that, that's when things start to get a little bit cryptic. Here we have some sort of cat. There's nothing currently cat themed in the area. I'm thinking this is completely a theory. I have no idea what's going on, but right next to Anaconda is the Backlot Stunt Coaster. I'm thinking maybe this is some kind of Jaguar and they're going to be retheming Backlot Stunt Coaster to a fast cat because of the launch. Perhaps, I have no idea. We'll see what happens. Most interesting is the very last one. This bird. There's nothing around that represents a bird unless they turn Flight of Fear into something bird related. However, as we mentioned earlier, the potential for a wing coaster coming here, I'm thinking a wing coaster would be a perfect bird theme, so this may be foreshadowing that coaster. Did they have this planned all those years ago in 2022 when they first opened Jungle X-Pedition? We'll be finding out in about a year. The Explorer's Surprise gift shop has a lot of fun Easter eggs inside of it and a lot of shout outs to coasters that are found at other Cedar Fair parks. The store has this little rotunda type area inside of it. If you look up in this area, It has each of the 6 animal drawings that you would see out on the flat rock repeated in here. So continuing the theme from that flat rock in here. It's easy to miss if you're not paying attention, but sometimes up on a high shelf and sometimes lower down there are these canisters everywhere. Almost all of the canisters are shout outs to rides at other parks. They have Zodiac, M-Force Octane, a shout out to Millennium Force at Cedar Point, Skylab, Beverly Hills Carp, which I think is just a parody of Beverly Hills Cop, but correct me if I'm wrong if that does reference something. Blue Streak, which is at Cedar Point, and then Willard Wizards, California Sardines. Right below that same shelf of cans, they have Afterburn Jet Fuel, shout out to Afterburn at Carowinds, Magnum Hyper Fuel for Magnum XL at Cedar Point, Maverick also at Cedar Point, and then Orion at Kings Island. This one's especially interesting because it mentions X-Flight, which is the name that the area that Orion is in used to be called back when Firehawk was there. In various places around the store and also the land in general, they have little pieces of souvenirs, little pieces of scenery that will continue further the storyline of the area. This is property of Alexandria Way, this suitcase that's down here, which is one of the members of the Way Foundation. Up here there's another Orion X-Flight Octane. Next to that, they have a Turn of the Century, a Corkscrew at Cedar Point, and a Greased Lightning. And then beyond that, there is a Diamondback Hyper Oil, reference to the fact that Diamondback is a hypercoaster at Kings Island. They also have these various water bottles scattered around the store. Each one has a different animal logo of the 6 that we saw in the Rotunda and at the Flat Rock. Here's a can for the Bat at Kings Island. Top Hat Dragster Racing Oil, a reference to Top Thrill Dragster, now sort of Top Thrill 2 in a way. Up here they have a few more cans. They have a shout out to Mystic Timbers, Mystic Chainsaw Oil, another Top Hat Dragster, Ricochet, which is one of the mouse coasters, Prickett Motor Oil, and if you notice in the bottom it says, "In Dusty We Trusty." That is a reference to Dustin Prickett. And for those of you wondering, Dustin Prickett is an area manager for Cedar Fair. They have Wood Vengeance, reference to Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Val Raven Victory Lap at the top there. That one is obviously Val Raven at Cedar Point. Grizzly Gulch Chili, and that is the Grizzly at California's Great America, not the one here because it's a California-based company. Dragon Iron Motor Oil for Iron Dragon at Cedar Point. Another Corkscrew, and then at the end there we have Twister. And then this one little lone shout out to Firehawk Hydro Fuel, a reference to the Firehawk coaster that was the predecessor to Orion at Kings Island. Not all of the cans around the store are a reference to something. Now these are just your general camping food rations, tomato paste, chili, kidney beans, etc. So they have a few of these scattered around too, so it's not just references. If you haven't used the bathroom in Jungle X-Pedition, you may have missed these posters that are attached to the exterior of the bathrooms. References to old rides, old attractions that were over where the Volcano Mountain used to be. Diamond Falls, the Dews Cavern System, home of Land of the Dews, and also King's Peak at the end. 3 little Easter eggs on this wall here. This cool plane here is a major focal point of the area. This plane was actually brought into King's Dominion from North Carolina. The Tin Goose 2 is on the side, which has arrows pointing you directly across the way to where the Tin Goose Bar is located. But also of note, if you notice in front of the Tin Goose Bar and the Outpost Cafe restaurant here, most of the ground is kind of brick, but next to that brick there is a dark black strip of ground. This dark black strip is here because it's supposed to represent a landing strip for that plane and any other planes that happen to come through the area. So that's a nice little attention to detail that other people may not notice. Directly in front of Toombeely, actually right next to Toombeely's tester seat, is a little well a lot of people might walk directly past. That's kind of funny. It has a sign attached to it that says "Wrong Way," with "way" spelled like the Way Foundation way. All three of the hidden code words are right in front of Toombeely. The first one is on this sign with the double monkeys. If you go down a little bit farther, it's kind of blocked by this plant here, but it might be a little bit difficult to see because of the plant life, but I'll leave this up here for a couple of seconds, and I'll also put the guide to the letters up in the corner so you can try to solve it. I'm just letting you know I will spoil this, so I'm giving you a 5-second warning. You can either mute the video or pause it if you want to solve it yourself. There are 3 of these, and I'll do all 3 of them back to back, and then I'll give you the thumbs up once I've given all 3 answers, so you can unmute it if you choose to mute the video. So here, try to solve this one. I'll give the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is mischief. Number 2 is right underneath this monkey statue. I'll zoom in on it and also put up the guide for you. Here's a look. I will give the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer to this one is clever. The third and final hidden message is in front of Toombeely on this monkey statue. Going down. Here's a look at the code. I'll pop up the guide for you again on the screen. And I'll give the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer to this one is tumble. And that's all of them, so I'll give you the thumbs up. You can unmute now if you're muted. The exit tunnel for Reptilia has a bunch of cave paintings of the Reptilia symbol, the little crocodile alligator symbol that they have on there. But there are also a couple on the opposite wall, other symbols that don't quite fit. They have the Toombeely monkey here, as well as the Arachnidia spider up here. There's one more that's even more well hidden in here. Just before you exit the tunnel, you'll come to a wall that has 3 alligators, well actually 4 alligators going down diagonally. If you look up to the corner from there, there's another hidden Arachnidia spider up on the wall up here. The mountain right near Arachnidia has a hidden spider, almost hidden, painted on the rockwork here. It's very faded, so a lot of people may miss it unless they're looking for it. The dining room of the Outpost Cafe has tons of Easter eggs in it, both related to the Way Foundation and the continuing storyline of Jungle X-Pedition and former attractions that were here, so it's time to get really nerdy. Not everything in here is directly related to the Way Foundation, but it does all have relations to exploring. They have a snake in a jar over here, some airplane memorabilia, and sketches. There's stuff all over the walls in here. They have a monkey and a bird, references to 2 of the 6 animal symbols that are around the area. There is a long green locker sitting near some of the tables. Most of the items that are in there are just general explorer items, nothing really special. But up in the top left-hand corner, there is a little booklet for the Haunted River, one of the former rides that was inside the mountain that later became Volcano. It's kind of difficult to see, but here through this locker is a passport to the Lost World at King's Dominion. Unfortunately, the camera keeps wanting to focus on the locker itself and not what's behind it. But yeah, this piece of paper on the wall in here is a passport to the lost world. Next to that also is a diagram of spiders, which is a shout out to Arachnidia. And then in the far right hand corner of the lockers is this little patch for Lion Country at King's Dominion, something that hasn't been here in a very long time. This cork board here has a whole bunch of special things on it. There's yet again another Arachnidia reference with the spiders. There's a mountain up there referencing volcano. Snakes for anaconda. There is one of the food trucks on here that you'll see in the Jungle X-Pedition area on this picture right here. So here's some more of... Here's more of those same symbols that we saw on the ground. The snake, monkey, bird, spider, reptile, and cat.
You're doing a great job.
Here is a shout out to the Dunes Cavern System. Here is one of the explorers. There is a letter on the wall over here. And another sketchbook note page over here that's very hard to see. Mount Kilimanjaro and what looks like a prototype for Tumbili over here underneath of the postcard. That's a fun little piece of artwork here. A piece of paper for the Lost World at King's Dominion. And another sketch here. Where are the other temples? As part of the story, I'm looking for the other animal temples, probably referencing the bird, the jaguar, and the snake that don't currently have rides here. More snake pictures, another Land of the Dews reference, and a drawing of the volcano that used to be here. Cool little sketched map of the area. Not only is it a sketched map, it has all of the 6 symbols down in the corner. It has a little note over to the side here. And at the very bottom, it tells you there are 6 total temples. The monkey temple for Tumbili, the spider temple for Arachnidia, crocodile temple for Reptilian, and then a serpent slash anaconda slash scorpion with a question mark, bird slash avian slash hawk with 2 question marks, and feline slash panther slash tiger with 3 question marks. Another fun painting on the wall of the volcano, and some other less directly related items on the wall, but still kind of fun to look at. A bunch of plant life. Some parrots, pictures of parrots here. And then on the back wall, they have these 9 pictures of important people involved in the Way Foundation. Well, 8 people and a dog involved in the Way Foundation, part of the overarching storyline of this area that is at the website that's going to be linked in the video description. And right before you leave the restaurant, there are a couple of note pages, even with a coffee stain for some extra detail, on clipboards hanging from the wall. So here's a quick look at what they say. As we were passing by, we decided that we were going to have lunch at the newly remodeled Victoria's Pizza in Candy Apple Grove. They did a great job of remodeling the interior. It's almost unrecognizable from how it was before. I especially love the big VP logo straight ahead here. It really needed an update, so I'm glad they took the time to do what they did. Back near where you pick up your plastic forks and spoons, I really like what they did with the back wall here. Some cool little pictures, add some authenticity to the place, make it feel like a New York style pizza place. Something that might be easy to overlook, they added some nice little details on the shelf up here too, where you're sitting and eating. Some potted plants And some nice pictures, some basil. Also, if you're a fan of coasters, Victoria's Pizza has some of the best views out this window. You can see Backlot Stunt Coaster, Intimidator / Project 305, Anaconda, and it's really hard to see through the trees, but you can get a little bit of a glimpse of Racer 75 through there too. Here's a look at the menu in Victoria's Pizza. They have a couple of baskets that are served with breadsticks or a side salad. You can get a slice of pepperoni pizza, a slice of cheese pizza, a piadina, which is essentially like a calzone, an antipasto salad, baked pasta, and a meatball. They also have gluten-free pizza, and you can get just breadsticks. You can also get a family special pizza for $56. It's a 16-inch pizza and 4 breadsticks or a signature salad. Additionally, they have your traditional beverages. You can also get a side salad, a parfait, tiramisu, some cannolis, or a big cookie. I wonder how big that big cookie is. Even though we ended up not getting dessert ourselves, I wanted to show you these pictures of the case of the desserts because they look delicious. On the top shelf they have the tiramisu, and then on the bottom shelf they have both chocolate chip and peanut butter cannolis. So Jen decided to get the 2 slices of cheese pizza. They would typically also come with a breadstick, but Jen turned the breadstick down, so she just has the 2 slices of pizza. I got the baked pasta, which it turns out is baked ziti. Comes with 1 meatball, and obviously cheese and tomato sauce. So yeah, they just list this as baked pasta. They don't tell you specifically what kind of pasta it is, but it looks like it's ziti. We also got 2 drinks, 2 sodas, and everything, there you go. Everything all together came to about $43 after season pass discount. So for Jen's pizza, no big surprise. It tastes pretty much just like your typical theme park pizza. She did like the fact that they give you 2 large slices of pizza for the price. So portion-wise, it's actually a pretty decent value, but it's just the flavor, she said, was pretty much just like any other theme park pizza. So she gives it a C just because it's just your standard pizza. My pasta was pretty good. I thought that the portion size when I got it looked pretty small, but after eating some of it, I can already tell finishing off the plate is going to really fill me up. I do kind of wish that there was a second meatball, but the meatball is actually a decent size, so I can't complain too much. The tomato sauce could use a little more seasoning, but the meatball itself is actually surprisingly well seasoned. I'd give this one a, well, probably a B+. It's pretty good value for the price. We got a cool, nearly 360 view of the park from the top of the Americana Ferris wheel. Since the Eiffel Tower has been down for a while, this is the closest view we get from being up high in the park. That's a pretty awesome view though. Especially with Twisted Timbers about to hit the barrel roll. Something that a lot of people may not notice as they're walking past the Delirium, there are a couple of choice seats on the ride where, if you're very daring, you can ride with no restraints. There's one right here, and another one over here through the bars. So yeah, if you are brave enough, a couple of special choice seats for when you ride. In case you're genuinely concerned about that, this ride has not been running for several months. It's actually over a year now. Before King's Dominion had Twisted Timbers, there was a coaster known as the Hurler in this spot. The Hurler was a reference to the movie Wayne's World, which is what this area used to be themed as at that time. There is still a remnant of Wayne's World left in this area, and it's in the form of this manhole cover right here. The City of Aurora manhole cover, which is where the movie takes place, Aurora, Illinois. They never did bother to change this up, so it's a relic of a forgotten time. Not really hidden exactly, but as you're passing through the gift shop to hurry to Grizzly, you may miss the fact that inside the gift shop there's a little back room that you can walk through. Has a cool little fireplace in Deer Head, and they have year-round Christmas and Coca-Cola merchandise. There's a little Christmas tree with ornaments back here that's here at all times. All kinds of Coca-Cola things you can purchase, including these nutcrackers and some ornaments. Also back in that area above, some cool little old-timey coffee and tins. There's this sign that I find to be really funny. Lester's, America's cheapest ammunition, and there's a good reason for that. It usually works. A bear with a piece of clothing in their mouth, a falling hat down the side of a cliff, and a gun on the ground. I love this ad. This is definitely a hidden gem here that's really easy to miss. And you can actually open these two appliances over here, the oven and the washing machine, wash basin here, but obviously they don't actually truly work. They're just here for fun. Across from the Grizzly Gulch General Store, there's a little tiny snack place known as Grizzly Snacks. This isn't exactly hidden, but you would be forgiven if you missed it because it is never open. So it's no surprise if nobody notices that it's even here. Need to take a load off after a long day walking around the park? Right across from the Kings Dominion Theater near the entrance to the queue for the Blue Ridge Tollway, there are 3 small rocking chairs sitting here you can relax in. They're hardly ever used, so this will be a perfect place to sit and chill out for a little while. If you're a Planet Snoopy fan, you may have noticed these signposts all throughout the area with the logo on it, but did you ever look up to the top of them to see Woodstock sitting there looking around at everybody?
And last but certainly not least are these pieces of track for the 2025 coaster that are hiding in the back corner of the Kings Dominion parking lot near the exit. We mentioned that we knew 100% that there would be a coaster for 2025, and this is how we know. I wanted to give a shout out to the channel Edutainment for being the first channel that we saw post about the fact that these track pieces are out here. If you're watching this channel, I'm sure you're probably already familiar with his channel. It's a great one. But if you haven't seen it, I will link in the description to this video a link to his channel as well, so you can check that one out. I also wanted to mention that there are no trespassing signs on the fencing around the track pieces. So if you visit Kings Dominion, please don't go back there. If you see a picture where there's no fencing, it's because we took a picture from over top. We held the camera over the fence. We did not trespass to get these pictures, so please don't do it yourself.
If you're in a hurry to get into the park, you may miss this. To the right of the park gate, outside of the park, is this nice Kings Dominion sign here. It's in the flowers, hiding right where Jen's standing. So we hope you enjoyed seeing these things. We hope you didn't notice some and learned something new from the video. If you did, we'd appreciate it if you would like the video and also subscribe to our channel. Every like and subscribe is a big help to the channel. Also, by the way, if you know where some of the rides that were being referenced on those cans in the gift shop are from that I didn't mention the names of the parks, please leave a comment to let us know what ride they're referencing. So we appreciate you watching the video. Up above Jen's head is our Instagram page, and right below that is our Threads handle. At the very bottom is our email address. Please feel free to email us any questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticisms. We read all of them, and we appreciate your feedback. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching, but the fun's not over yet. Click the box in front of my face for another fun video, or click my tree to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another video.